Hello, welcome to my channel. I am Idress. Today we're going to talk about the Poetics by Aristotle. Aristotle was born 384 and he was died on 22 BC. Aristotle proposed to study the poetry by analyzing its constitutive parts and then drawing general conclusion. The portion of the Poetics that survives and discusses many tragedy and epic poetry. We know that Aristotle also wrote a treatise on the comedy that has been lost. He defines poetry as the mimetic or imitative use of language, rhythms, and harmony separately or in a combination. Poetry is mimetic, and in that it creates a representative of objects and events in the world. Unlike philosophy, for example, which present ideas, humans are naturally drawn to imitation, and so poetry has a strong pull on us. It can also be an excellent learning device since we can coolly observe imitations of things like dead bodies, disgusting animals when the real things disturb us. Aristotle identifies tragedy as the most refined version of poetry, dealing with lofty merits and comedy and the most refined versions of the poetry, dealing with base matters. He traces a brief and speculative history of tragedy as it evolves from the dithyrambic hymns in praise of court Dionysus. Dithyrambs were sung by a large choirs, sometimes featuring a narrator. Aeschylus invented tragedy by bringing a second actus into the dialogue with the narrator. Sophocles innovated further by introducing a third actus, and gradually tragedy shifted to its contemporary dramatic form. Defines tragedy according to the 7 characteristics. First, it is mimetic. Second, it is serious. Third, it tells a story of an appropriate length. Fourth, it contains rhythm and harmony. Fifth, rhythm and harmony occurs in a different combination in a different part of the tragedy. 6. It is performed rather than narrated. 7. It arouses feelings of the pity and peace and then purges these feelings through catharsis. It consists of 6 component parts which are listed here in order from most important to the least important: plot, character, tour, diction, melody, and spectacles. Well-formed plot must have a beginning, which is not necessary consequences of any previous action, a middle, which follows logically from the beginning, and an end, which follows logically from the middle, and from which no further action necessarily follows. The plot be united, meaning that every element of the plot should tie in to the rest of the plot, leaving no loose end. This kind of unity allows tragedy to express universal themes powerfully, which makes it superior to history, which can only talk about the peculiar or a particular event. Episodic plots are bad because there is no necessity to the sequence of events. The best of the plot contains the surprise, but surprises that in the retrospect fit logically into the sequence of events. The best kind of surprises are brought about by the peripeteia, or the reversal of fortune, and anagnosis, or discovery. A good plot progresses like a knot that is tied up with increasingly greater complexity until the moment of the peripeteia, at which point the knot is gradually untied until it reaches completely Nor it concludes tragedy to arouse pity and fear. We must observe a hero who is relatively noble, going from happiness to misery as a result of error on the part of the hero. Our pity and fear is aroused most when it is family members who harm one another rather than enemies or strangers. In the last or in the best kind of plot, one character narrowly avoids killing uh, of a family members unwittingly thanks to uh, anagnosis that reveals the family connections. The hero must have good qualities appropriate to his or her station and should be portrayed and realistically and consistently. Both the character of the hero and the plot must have logical consistency. Aristotle concludes that untying of the plot must follow as a necessary consequences of the plot and not from stage artifice, like a machine used in some play in which an actor playing one of the chord was lowered onto the stage at the end. Aristotle discusses thirds, dictions, and then moves on to Idress epic poetry, whereas tragedy consists of actions presented in a dramatic form. Epic poetry consists of verse presented in a narrative form. Tragedy and epic poetry must have or have many common qualities, most notable the unity of plot and similar subject matter. Epic poetry can be longer than tragedy, and because it is not performed, it can deal with more fantastic action with a much wider scope. By contrast, tragedy can be more focused and take advantage of the devices of music and spectacles. A big body and tragedy are also written in a different meters. After depending body against the charges, it deals with the possible events are improbable events. Aristotle concludes by weighing tragedy against a big body and determining that tragedy is, on the whole, superior.